Welcome, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a special edition of the Wrestling Forum. We are live right now. I am Michael Flecha alongside my partner in crime, Anthony Florio. Unfortunately, we were supposed to have Michael Bullock, but if you haven't heard, Michael Bullock has some prior commitments that's beyond our control, and therefore he will not be here tonight. And it's gonna be the two dudes with attitudes, or the Mega Powers 2.0 is going to take over the night for the show. So here we are. We're recapping WWE Payback. And my goodness, what a show it was. We're going to get into it, in just a matter of moments. And here's what we got here. We started off with two pre-show fights, ladies and gentlemen. One was an impromptu fight. One was advertised. The impromptu fight was R-Truth versus Stardust. R-Truth won the match at 6 minutes and 40 seconds. There will be no review of the pre-show fights, according because it is Cerebral Viper rules. So I decided not to waste our time with that fight. And then, of course, the other fight was the Axel Mania and Macho Man's Dow. I guess the Meta Powers is what they're calling themselves, against the Ascension, and the Ascension wins the match at 2 minutes and 57 seconds as Connor got the fall, hitting the fall of man on Macho Man's Dow. So that was your pre-show fight. Let's dive into the main card, which started off with, well, Derek Ferrera predicted that it was going to be Adrian Neville versus Bad News Barrett or King Barrett. Well, guess what? He was wrong. It was Sheamus going one-on-one with Dolph Ziggler. The winner of the bout was Sheamus at 12 minutes and 47 seconds. Anthony Florio, you lead it off tonight.
As always, hello, friends. It is indeed ridiculously over Anthony Florio. Welcome to our Payback review. Delighted to be here as always. Delighted to have you with us as well. And yes, what a way to start it off. I mean, I had a feeling one of those two mid-card matches was going to start it off, and you can't start it any better than Dolph Ziggler and Sheamus. And what a way to start it off. 3.5 stars. That's the rating I'm going to give this match. This was a very, very good match here. I mean, I said it. I mean, these two always have great chemistry together. They work great together. They went on some great matches in the past, and this one was no exception. Far and away better than that spectacle of a match we had last month at the Extreme Rules. The Kiss Me Arse match. Yeah, how can you say that with a straight face? But still, this one was definitely a be a man fight, and the late great Gordon Soley, I bet he was smiling down because one of his signature catchphrases. I'm about to use it. So Gordon Soley, this one's for you, brother. Dolph Ziggler was a Crimson Mask tonight. Yes, Dolph Ziggler got busted open. We saw color in this match. Yes, was totally not expecting it, but unfortunately, the Mimi Jean website is no longer in use. The domain on that expired. So, if it was still alive and kicking, what Mimi would have come out. The infamous Vince McMahon, that's not PG Mimi. And I would have had Dolph Ziggler or Crimson Mask. That's not PG. No, indeed it wasn't. Dolph Ziggler was a Crimson Mask and great near falls down the stretch. And, well, Ziggler with a headbutt on Sheamus. Ziggler's been, doing a lot of those headbutts as of late. And he did, I guess he went a little too hard in on it, and it opened him up. Yes, Ric Flair, the Ric Flair bloody Mimi, he would have definitely been on that too. One of the greatest leaders of all time, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. But nonetheless, oh man. Physical smash mouth match. This is the match we were hoping for at Extreme Rules. We didn't get it this time around. We got it here. 3.5 stars is the rating. Not at all surprised Sheamus won. You knew he was going to. And, the little kiss me arse thing did come into play. Ziggler got Sheamus to kiss his arse, if you will, to make up for the Extreme Rules stipulation. And Sheamus did not take too kindly to that, and that was it. So, but a very good match and a great way to start off what ended up being a far better pay per view than we initially thought. And I'm going to share my reason why I think this event was good tonight when we do our overall review at the end. I'll save that for then. So, oh, what a match! 3.5 stars. That's the best I can go on this one. Cerebral Viper, what do you say? Do you agree, or do you have it higher, lower, what?
I kind of have to take it a little bit down. I do agree with the most part. This was a tremendous fight, but I kind of have to disagree with your overall rating. I think you're a little high, just a tad. I can only give it 3 stars. I think this was a great match, great starting fight, no doubt about it. And I thought the body of work was absolutely incredible. I just felt like it was a good fight, not a great fight. Well, actually, no, I disagree with that. It was a good, solid fight, and I think what we expected the fight to turn out was what we expected it. Both guys was going to leave it on the line. Both guys were really going to try to really brutalize each other, which they did. I loved a lot of the interaction during the fight. The blood, the moment where Ziggler got cut in the fight was actually an open surprise. I think we didn't expect that to happen, but it added to the fight, which made this even better. But it was a clean victory, a clean win for Sheamus as he gets the bro kick on Ziggler and got him for the 1, 2, 3. So for me, I thought this was a tremendous match, and it actually lived up to the hype. And like you said, it was far and away better than the Kiss Me Arse match they had about a month ago. So they definitely delivered on all fronts. And hopefully, this is a blow off. This might not be the blow off because I think we could see these two guys go at it again. But I think it's going to be for more higher stakes the next time out. I believe these will be 2 of 6 men that might be fighting for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship in the Elimination Chamber 2 weeks from tonight. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. So let's get into the next fight, which was for the WWE Tag Team Championship, as it was the New Day putting the titles on the line against Antonio Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, as it was Intercontinental rules, the best 2 out of 3 falls for this fight. And we thought the Freebird rule was going to also be in effect, and it kind of was not. Biggie Langston and Kofi Kingston represented in this fight, and Xavier Woods was sitting on the sidelines for this fight. But the winner of the bout and still the WWE Tag Team Champions are the New Day. They win it by the final score of 2 falls to 1. It went the limit. The time of the fall went to 13 minutes and 10 seconds. Far and away the surprise of the night to me. I thought this fight was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the match itself was a great match. It was far and away better than I even expected. I didn't think it was going to come out to be this good, and it was better than I even thought. This was an eye opener. The first fall went to Tyson Kidd and Antonio Cesaro. I think that was fair enough. The second fall went to the New Day. They got the second fall. The third fall went to the New Day. Well, I hate to say it, there was a little shenanigans at the end. Xavier Woods jumps into the ring, gets a roll-up victory, well, a small package victory to get the 1, 2, 3. As he rolled on Antonio Cesaro, the referee did not see Xavier Woods as he kind of shielded his body from the action, which was fine enough, and it gives the New Day the victory. Thus, they remain the tag team champions. And you know what? I got to pull the trigger on this. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. I thought this was a phenomenal match, to say the very least. And like I said, this was one of the few surprises of the night. I did not think this fight was going to be any good, and it went better than expected. So in my mind, this was definitely one of the top fights of the night. Anthony, I give it to you.
Yeah, I, I do agree. When it comes to, I guess I did overscore the Ziggler and Sheamus just a little bit. 3.25 maybe was probably the absolute best I should have given that, but it kind of felt like 3.5 to me. But as far as this one is concerned, this is definitely a 3.5 to 3.75 of a star match, teetering on 4. I mean, what a match this was. I mean, the Intercontinental rules played into full effect. You know how much I love that. Another shout out to another one of the great all time announcers, Gorilla Monsoon. Of course, Fletch's all time idol, as we all know, and mine too. But nonetheless, oh man, I mean, the body of work these guys put in. I mean, New Day continues to impress me. I mean, I was one of those haters on the New Day. You know, I know there are those in the IWC who still can't get behind them, but they're getting so much better, man. I'm telling you. And pre-match introduction, you know, that little promo they cut before the match, where they when they called out Adam Jones or the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, yeah, oh, what a moment that was, to say the very least. And talking about the Orioles' past history, you know, Orioles haven't won a World Series since the year of our birth, 1983. Go figure. And they had a moment with that, and then the match itself just fantastic. And Michael Flecha, you know, you got your moment. You got the Cesaro swing. I know how much you love that, and we definitely would have had fun with that if we had done the commentary for it. But wow, um, I told you, there's money to be made here. When another standard as part of Booking 101, money can be made when you have babyface challengers chasing heel champions for a long period of time. And perfect finish here. Definitely a Freebird rule type finish with Xavier Woods sticking his nose in there, getting the small package on Cesaro for the win. I mean, but just the overall body of work of the match. I mean, yeah, another fantastic match here. I mean, it definitely is one of the top fights of the night. There is no question about that. I mean, I would probably say this was the third best fight of the night, if I'm being honest with you. Um, with the Ziggler and Sheamus fight, I'm going to say that was the fourth best fight of the night. There were two matches that I thought were better. Let you know where I'm going with that. I'm pretty sure you do. So, we're gonna have a lot to say about those two fights. Trust me. So, no doubt about this one. 3.5, 3.75 stars. What a fantastic match this was. The New Day, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, the best feud in tag team wrestling today. And it's definitely starting to put some prestige and credibility back into those tag team titles that those belts have needed for a while, and that's good. So, and don't forget, next in 2 weeks, the big Elimination Chamber special on the WWE Network, Corpus Christi, Texas. First time ever, a tag team championship elimination chamber match. How are they going to do this? We don't know. Hopefully tomorrow night on Raw we'll find out the deets. But for right now, let's just take this in and remember it for what it was. Not just the sleeper fight of the night, but also the third best fight of the night. 3.5 to 3.75 stars. Perfect rating for the fight. Well, I don't know what else there is to say, man. Let's just move on.
All right, we're going to move on to the next fight of the night, as it was Ryback going one-on-one with Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt wins the match, hitting the Sister Abigail on the big guy at 10 minutes and 54 seconds. Anthony, you lead off.
2.25 to 2.5 stars. That's the best I can give this. I mean, it was a solid match. It was an okay fight for what it was, but to be honest, it was one I really couldn't get behind. Um, it felt like a typical big man match. It was slow in the early going, but it did get better as time went on, and there were some good near falls, and crowd was into it a little bit, but to me, It was a fine match. I'm not gonna say it was a horrible match by any means, but it wasn't the greatest match either. So two and a quarter, 2.5 stars. That's the best I can give it. I don't know what's next for these two. Perhaps WWE throws these two guys into that other big elimination chamber match, the one for the now vacated Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Very possible. We'll have to wait and see on that. So 2.25, 2.5 stars. That's the best I can give it. So with that said, Fletcher Jones.
Well, I have to agree with you for the most part, but I kind of felt like this deserves at least a 3-star rating. I mean, yeah, it was good for what it was worth. There was some good moments in the fight, and no doubt about it. I really thought this was a very solid fight, but we kind of felt like we wanted Ryback. We kind of thought that Ryback was not going to be great. We kind of were fearing that this was going to be one of the worst fights of the night, and it actually was more of a pleasant surprise again. Another solid fight, another good match. Kind of didn't leave much to desire there. But at the end of the day, it did deliver for what it was worth, and it gave us a solid fight, but nothing that would make us jump up and down and make us celebrate over the fact about this thing. But you know, Bray Wyatt gets the victory. He gets some momentum. Now we got to see what happens next to him. So I thought this was a good victory, clean victory for him. And now we just move on to the next fight of the night, which was the I Quit match for the United States Heavyweight Championship. The champion is John Cena, putting the title on the line against Rusev, along with Lana, the winner of the bout, and still the United States heavyweight champion, John Cena. He wins the bout at 28:49. Wow. Wow is all I can say about this one. Um, this fight was absolutely phenomenal, and truly one of the best fights of the night. Um, John Cena and Rusev took it pillar to post. They went all over the place. There was a great spot where they were using the little technical area. Um, Cena hits the AH, setting off some pyrotechnics down near the ringside area. And then from there, Rusev using the ring rope, well, unbuckling one of the ropes, trying to use it as a weapon. Cena counters it, getting into an STF, using the top rope as a weapon, a la what he did to Umaga in the Royal Rumble a few years ago when he successfully defended the WWE Championship and won the fight like that as well. So he hooked him up, yeah, in 2007, and he hooked him up, and basically we didn't know what he was saying. He was saying some things in Bulgarian or in Russian. Lana knew instantly what it meant. She ran into the ring and she said, he's saying, I give up, I give up. Cena wins. He wins the match. He successfully defends the title. 4 stars is my rating for the fight. And I'm going to say it, fight of the night, in my opinion. I think this was tremendous match. So much Shakespearean drama in this fight. It was back and forth, pillar to post. This is what you wanted to see in a U.S. title fight, an I Quit fight. These men did not give up. They fought like heck. It was tremendous. To me, this has to go down as probably the second greatest I Quit fight in the history of WWE. I think the only other fight that tops it is the one between Bret the Hitman Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin from WrestleMania 13. I think that, in my opinion, was the greatest I Quit fight of all time. This one, in my opinion, is the second greatest I Quit match in WWE history. Congratulations to Rusev. Congratulations to John Cena. You outdid yourself, gentlemen. You deserve to be applauded and commended. I tip my cap. Florio, it is yours.
All right, couple things here. Technically, the match with Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13, that was not an I Quit match. That was a submission match. Now, if it wasn't an I Quit match, Ken Shamrock, who was the referee, would have had a microphone and he would have gotten in their faces and asked if they quit. That was technically a submission match. That was not an I Quit match, with all due respect, Michael Flecha. So I do agree with you. I mean, when it comes to the submission match stipulation, that was the greatest submission match of all time. That was a 5-star classic. Everyone knows that. And one of the 10 greatest matches in WrestleMania history. I don't care what anybody says. I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. Second thing, I think you underscored this fight a little bit. I do agree with you. It is the fight of the night. But to me, this was 4.5 stars for me. 4.5, teetering on a 5-star classic. This was absolutely unbelievable. This thing went damn near 30 minutes. I did not think it was going to get that long of time, but it did. What did I tell you all last night when we did our preview show last night? What did I say? I said, and I quote, this was going to, from my opinion, this was going to be the fight of the night. And lo and behold, I was right. I believe I had that one. And once again, I deliver. I was right. And I'm not at all surprised by that. The Shakespearean drama that this match created, I mean, the moves were unbelievable. Cena and Rusev totally outdid themselves. I mean, that spot from that Rusev and Cena spot, with the top rope there, I definitely was having flashbacks to the 2007 Royal Rumble in San Antonio. John Cena and the late great Umaga, God rest his soul. Man, oh man, alive! That thing was unbelievable. I mean, that fight was unbelievable. That was and that was a last man standing match. That one. This here, the I Quit match, and I do agree. This definitely goes down as one of the greatest I Quit matches of all time. There is no question about that. I mean, the crowd was into it. I was into it. Fletch was into it. I know all the fans and friends of the Wrestling Forum, they were into it. I know Derek Ferreira. I know when he does his review, whether it's later tonight or sometime tomorrow, I know for a fact Derek's going to I'm sure he's going to give this a positive remark as well. I mean, you want to talk about a be a man fight? This was the very epitome of the words be a man fight. Wow. Physical, smash mouth, hard hitting. Wow. I only wish we could have had color on this one as well. I was kind of hoping we could have had blood, but of course, the PG era, no blood. That's the rule. And it's a damn shame because I think color would have really added to this fight. It really would have. I mean, what's next with Rusev and Lana? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. They had a backstage moment after the fight. Well, shortly after the fight. Well, shortly after the next fight, they had a backstage moment and Rusev, blew his top and took it out on Lana. So I don't know what's going to happen with those two next. There will be a split eventually. We just don't know when that split is coming, but it's going to be a split. You can believe that. So thank you, John Cena. Thank you, Rusev. Unbelievable matchup here. I said not only was this going to be the fight of the night, but I also said this was going to be the best match of their series. And it topped Fastlane. It topped WrestleMania. It topped the Russian Chain match. Yeah. This match alone was better than all three of those combined. That's how great this fight was. If there had been just a little bit more, I would have given this a 5-star classic. And what is it about John Cena at Payback? Last year, he had a 5-star classic of a last man standing match with Bray Wyatt. This year, he has another damn near 5-star classic with Rusev in an I Quit match. Unfreaking believable. Best part is Cena gets the win here. And you know what that means? For the foreseeable future, we're going to have some more of those John Cena United States Championship Open challenges. Damn right. You know how much we love those. You know how much we love that concept. It's the best concept they've come up with in a long time. Well done, gentlemen. Very, very well done. And oh, by the way, I consider this now my number 2. This is the number 2 match of the year for me. This is the second best match of the year. I still think the Cena, Rollins, Lesnar triple threat from the Royal Rumble, that's still, to me, the fight of the year, in my opinion, because I gave that a 5-star classic. This almost got there. almost. 4.5 stars, fight of the night, and the second best match of 2015 in the mind of ridiculously over Florio. Move on, Fletch.
All right, and we move on to the next fight, which was Tamina Snuka and Naomi versus the Bella Twins. The winner of the bout was Naomi, and Tamina, as Naomi gets the pin on the Divas champion, Nikki Bella. The time of the fall was at 6 minutes and 3 seconds. Florio, it is all yours.
Uh, I'm going to give it between 1.5 to 2. That's how I feel. Solid 2 at the absolute best. There was some good action. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the WrestleMania match a little bit. Even only you swap out Paige and AJ Lee for Tamina Snuka and Naomi, and I'm not at all surprised Tamina and Naomi went over here. I mean, it was expected given that the title was not on the line. They obviously want to establish. They obviously want to, set Naomi up for another shot at it, and lo and behold, I think this win most definitely puts Tamina Snuka right back in the number one. I mean, Naomi rather puts her back in number one contender status, and definitely goes. She'll definitely be going right back in the number one contention. No question about that. And when that match could be, hey, why not have it 2 weeks? Why not in 2 weeks as part of the big Elimination Chamber event in a couple of weeks? Can't think of a better time to do it then. And when they do it, I think this will finally be the time that Naomi finally takes her rightful place as the Divas champion. She should have been there a long time ago, but that infamous injury that she suffered at the hands of Botsana, about a year and a half ago in 2014, if it wasn't for that, she would have had to run as Divas champion already. But come 2 weeks from tonight, or whenever it is, they're going to meet again, Fletch. You know they will. And when they do, I think Naomi finally gets it done. No disrespect to Nikki Bella. She's gotten so much better. I mean, but then again, when your boyfriend's John Cena, of course you're going to get a lot better. Let's not kid ourselves. Lucky John Cena, by the way. But nonetheless, I think she's held it long enough. I mean, she's held that thing since Survivor Series. So we're looking at about 6. She's been champion for just about 6 months. I think it's. Like I said, I think it's long enough, and it could be tomorrow night on Raw. It could be on a SmackDown, but I think the most appropriate time for that to happen, for this title fight to happen, would be in 2 weeks for the Elimination Chamber show. You can build that thing in 2 weeks easy, and I think this time around, that fight will be better. Hashtag give Divas a chance. Hopefully, we can get that thing going again. This was a carbon copy of the WrestleMania fight. That's all there is to it. It was solid. I'm not going to piss all over it, but too short for my liking. But then again, that's what the Divas are supposed to do. It's supposed to, cool the crowd off. And believe me, the crowd needed a major cooling off after that damn near 5-star classic that Cena and Rusev had. Oh my goodness! But the right team won. The right diva got the fall, and in a matter of time, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when Naomi becomes the next Divas champion. I think it's in 2 weeks at the Chamber event, in my opinion. Solid 2 stars for the effort. Fletch, your thoughts?
I can go about 1.25, 1.5. I agree with everything that you said, Florio. I thought the match was very solid. I thought it was good for what it was worth. I think the body of work really was pretty much what we had expected. And the thing was, remember what we were saying last night? Who was the one that was going to most benefit from this? And we all were saying that Naomi and Tamina should win this fight. We didn't know if Nikki and Brie were going to be, especially Brie, if she was going to be at 100%. If you notice, she wrestled a little bit, but she was kind of a non-factor in this fight tonight, as it was more focused and more geared towards the beautiful Nikki Nikki was really carrying more of the work in this fight, and you know, I think it was what it was worth. I think we liked how the fight turned out, and but the thing is that like we said, we wanted it a better outcome. We were looking for the right justification, and we got it. You know, Naomi gets the pin. She pins the Divas champion. She beats Nikki Bella 1, 2, 3 straight in the middle of the ring right here tonight. And now we're looking at possibly Nikki has to put the belt on the line against Naomi, the true number one contender. Now they were talking about maybe the Divas division might have a makeover. I think there is. I think we're looking at Naomi finally realizing her dream, and I believe that the reign of Nikki Bella is only. I think there's an expiration date on her reign, and if it and I believe her time is starting to run out. You know, I think that million-second clock. If you remember that TV show that was on NBC hosted by Ryan Seacrest, um, I think that clock is starting to tick, and it's been ticking for a while now. And I believe that clock is about to hit zero 2 weeks from tonight at the Elimination Chamber because I believe if these two do fight again and the belt is on the line, I truly believe in my heart of hearts we are going to have a new Divas champion, and her name will be Naomi. So we'll leave it at that. Next up, we had King Barrett going one on one with the new sensation, the man that gravity forgot, Adrian Neville, the winner of the bout by countout was Neville. He gets the win at 7 minutes and 25 seconds. And no, actually, I start this one off. If I'm correct, yeah, I start this off. So another solid fight. Two and a half, 2 3/4 of a star, and I think it was a good match. I think it was a good fight. I did not like the fact that the fight ended in a count out. I think that really was somewhat of a cop out finish, and that really stunk so badly. But I did like there was a nice little altercation after the match. Barrett tries to attack Neville, gets the upper hand early on, but Neville was able to return favor, return fire, and he hit it, guys. He dropped the red arrow on the king himself, which got me marking out like a crazy man because, dudes, like I said, I got to see that red arrow in person live, and I'm telling you, that move is freaking awesome. It's unbelievable what he does with that move, and he is without a doubt not only a big star on the rise, but I think we can also say he could be one of the favorites if he's added into this fight for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship in the Elimination Chamber match. Like I said, if he's added, we don't know yet. We'll find out tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw because they'll probably have more details about it then. But to me, this is another 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star. Florio, I give it to you.
I'm gonna give it a straight up 2.5 stars, only because of the cop out finish there. I do agree with you on that. Um, I was kind of hoping for a little more from these two, to be honest with you, because the matches they've had have been the two matches they had prior were both great. I mean, the Extreme Rules kickoff show that Neville won, that was a phenomenal match. I mean, you remember how nuts you and I went over that King of the Ring final they had. I mean, I know a lot of people weren't really over the moon about that King of the Ring final, but the way you and I saw it, I mean, that was a freaking classic. That was. But this one here, I mean, yes, I mean, like Ziggler and Sheamus. I mean, these two guys, They have great chemistry together, and I hated the finish. I agree with you on that. I mean, you know how we are here. You know how we are. We at the Wrestling Forum are about cop out finishes. We have zero tolerance for cop out finishes. I mean, the two things we hate on this show more than anything else are cop out finishes and authority shenanigans. Those are the two things that we loathe and detest more than anything here on this show, and we'll let you know about it. So, but other than that, though, other than the cop out finish, I mean, it was a solid matchup at the absolute best, and I definitely do agree. In the Elimination Chamber, 6 men, even though they haven't been determined yet, 6 men will battle for the vacated Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. And in my opinion, I think Neville's the favorite to win it. I really do. I mean, it's very clear that the Rocket Pack has been placed on him. And go figure. Like I said, like I said on this program a few times already, and I'll remind those for any new viewers who are just tuning in. The night after WrestleMania, he debuted. He went up against some Hammernager off the street. A week later, he's in there with the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, and then from there, you know, he's taken off. I mean, he was one victory away from being the king of the ring. Unheard of. But they put Barrett over, which was the smart thing to do because he needed a major win, and he finally got one for the first time in forever and a day. And yeah, so expect these two to be in the Elimination Chamber for the IC title. I fully expect Ziggler and Sheamus to also be in that, and I think we'll round out the 6 with Bray Wyatt and Ryback, if I'm being quite honest. Those are my 6. When I read Derek Pereira's blog, I 100% agreed with him. He made a lot of sense in it. So, and if those are the 6, you're there first. I think Neville's going to win that thing. I think Neville is destined for superstar. If you didn't see him in NXT, you missed out on a lot. He wasn't the longest running NXT heavyweight champion for nothing, you know. Why do you think they put it on him for 287 days? Because Vinnie Mac and the Suits in Stamford, Connecticut are high up on this young man, and quite frankly, I don't blame him. I'm high up on him. Flecha is damn sure high up on him. Michael Bullock's high up on him. Derek Ferrera's high up on him. And he's definitely got the backing of the IWC. If you got the backing of the IWC, that's a recipe for success. Don't believe me? Ask Daniel Bryan. He'll tell you firsthand. Because he benefited more than anybody. He benefited from the IWC. Why do you think he won the title last year? The IWC. Simple as that. 2.5 stars. Oh, I'm not wasting any more time. Mikey, we got an unbelievable main event to get to, and I can't wait for this one. Oh.
You and me both, my friend. You and me both. The main event of Payback for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Seth Rollins, versus 3 other competitors, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Randy Orton, the winner of the bout, and still the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins. He wins it. Anthony Florio, you get to lead off.
Yes, sir. Second best fight of the night. 4.25 stars. This was unbelievable. I mean, oh my gosh, where do I begin? Shield reunion, mark out moment. We had quite a few mark out moments, but the mark out moment for me was seeing Rollins, Ambrose, and Reigns with the Shield bomb on Randy Orton through the American announce table, not the Spanish announce table. Oh no, this was through the American, the English announce table. Michael Cole, JBL, Jerry the King Lawler, they had to endure that Shield bomb that Randy Orton received. Wow, what a moment! And then we almost had the sign of solidarity from the Shield. You know, the fists coming together. Yeah, that didn't last long. And then we get a mini Shield bomb, courtesy of Ambrose and Reigns, where they put Kane and Rollins. Yes, Mikey, unfortunately, through the Spanish announce table. Unfortunately, you knew that thing wasn't going to go unscathed. It never does. Um, but Kane got involved a little too much. I can say the same thing for J&J Security. Yes, there were some authority shenanigans, but that's all there is to it. And I mean, what's a main event without authority shenanigans? I mean, we haven't had one of those since WrestleMania, for God's sakes. I mean, last month's main event was chock full of authority shenanigans and was a very disappointing main event considering who was involved and considering what the stipulation was inside of the steel cage. But this main event delivered in every way imaginable. I mean, crowd pleasing spots. I mean, Roman Reigns early in the bout with that dive over the top rope, the look at this moment, or as I call it, the club sandwich moment, as he took out everybody. Club sandwich, hold the mayo, they all went down on that one, and and then everything else, and then the solidarity with Ambrose and Reigns, the partnership there, and then they went at it, and then we had dirty deeds, we had Superman punches, we had spears, we had RKO's, we had choke slams all around. Definitely another fantastic match, chock full of Shakespearean drama. If Rusev and Cena didn't blow me away, I would have called this the fight of the night. But yeah, there was some authority shenanigans, unfortunately, but the authority shenanigans didn't really take away from the fight because the crowd was into it, I was into it. We had a lot of crowd pleasing spots, but none more so than that Shield bomb when the original Shield briefly for a moment, one time only, the reuniting, if you will, when they did the triple power bomb, or as I call it, the Shield bomb, on Randy Orton through the American English announce table. Unreal. But what a match it was. And the best part, I'm leaving it out. Seth Rollins takes another finishing move. I mean, you remember he used the RKO on Randy Orton to win the cage match last month. And what does he do here? He beats him with a pedigree. Triple H's pedigree. I thought that was usually a recipe for disaster because I know how Trips and them would feel about other superstars using his move, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But he seemed fine to me. After the match, I mean, they celebrated after the match. Triple H would come out and raise the hand of Rollins, and they had a little moment there. So, oh my goodness, what a main event! And here's another match that's going into my top 10 matches of the year for 2015. I would honestly consider this right now my number 3 fight of 2015. This is my number 3 match right here. I got Rusev and Cena 2, and Lesnar, Cena, Rollins from the Rumble still at number 1 for me. And I cannot believe on this night, a night that we didn't think it, we thought this was going to be another typical B pay-per-view show. Wow. Not only, I mean, the double main event here with Cena, Rusev, and this 4-way. Go figure. These 2 fights would be so unbelievable and so chock full of Shakespearean drama. Both damn near 5-star classics. And these 2 fights have already found their way. Have already cracked my top 3 for matches for the best matches of the year for 2015. Go figure. 4 to 4.25 stars is my rating. It's the second best fight of the night and one of the best pay-per-view main events we've seen in quite a while. Probably since Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And far and away better than that sham of a main event we got last month, which was chock full of authority shenanigans and Dinkelberg BS nonsense. So it's 4 to 4.25 stars, second best fight of the night, and overall third best fight of the year. That's Anthony Florio's opinion. Michael Flecha, how do you feel about it?
I gotta go 4 stars. I'm sorry, I'm a little more of a stickler about the authority shenanigans than you are. I'm probably being a little more of a hard ass about it, but I mean, the match was phenomenal. No doubt about it. I can't deny that. I think the body of work of the fight really proved to be better than anything else. But when you get J&J Security and Kane that really tipped his hand on how he felt about this fight, I kind of was like, oh, really? I mean, come on, guys. I mean, every clutch moment you saw authority shenanigans was coming in, and it got to a point where it got a little boring and tiring. But definitely, when the fight got taken outside, when the English announce table got blown to bits, with that triple power bomb by the Shield, I mean, it was like wow. I kind of voiced it on the Twitter when I was like, "Oh my God, a triple power bomb, baby!" Unfortunately, it was to my guy Randy Orton, but collateral damage is what I say about that. But then you saw what happened. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose took their vengeance out on their fellow Shield brother, on Seth Rollins. Kane tried to get involved again, and not only did they get powerbombed once, he got powerbombed twice through the Spanish announce table. The first time it didn't break, so the people of Baltimore was yelling, "One more time, one more time, one more time." Hey, booking 101. When people says they want to see something, you give it to them. And the IWC was begging for them to go one more time. They did it a second time. The table breaks. It was a beautiful sight. And then just the interaction between Ambrose and Roman Reigns going one on one, going at it, fighting like a bunch of cats and dogs. The crowd was so into it. It made the fight so incredible. The ending was really well designed, well done. Everybody was hitting their phenomenal moves, getting their finishes. But like you said, Seth Rollins uses the pedigree, Triple H's pedigree, because remember, they kind of outlawed the curb stomp, even though they didn't officially ban it, he could use it at any time. He doesn't want to get himself in trouble because of the fact that, with everything that's going on, I guess there was a lawsuit being thrown around. So WWE told Rollins, "Hey, we're gonna have to figure out another move for you because the curb stomp is deemed too dangerous because you could give somebody a serious concussion with the move if you don't do it right, or somebody could actually break their neck on a move like that, if it's not done properly." So they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to get that legal trouble, so they kind of partially outlawed it. And it's gotten so bad that if you watch the replay of WrestleMania 31, you actually will see that they actually edited out Rollins doing the curve stomp when he won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I don't. If you guys check on the WWE Network, you'll see they'll actually cut away to the crowd when he does the curve stomp. So just kind of a legal factor. But this fight was good and it was tremendous. A great main event match. Like you said, far and away better than what we saw last month in Extreme Rules, and definitely will leave us to wonder what will happen next. Remember, supposedly the WWE World Heavyweight title is supposed to be defended 2 weeks from tonight. We don't know who's going to be the opponent, and we don't even know how it's going to even be played out as of right now. So we'll wait and see on that. Normally, it's time for the overall review. Now, normally, in this situation, actually, no. In this situation, normally I would have led off, but because I want to do the content for tomorrow night, Anthony, I'm gonna let you start off,
Good.
and then I'll follow.
Good. I actually wanted to lead off anyway. So.
All right,
Well,
then
that
you
worked out
go
great.
ahead.
Good.
You go ahead.
I'm glad that worked out that way. Funny how things work out. That's great. Yes, I actually want to lead off on this one. So Flex, I'm very appreciative of that. So yes, because I got the perfect rating in mind right here. I'm going to give this a solid 8 to 8.5 out of 10. A fantastic pay-per-view tonight. Far exceeded my expectations. I mean, the fight of the night, obviously, John Cena and Rusev. 4.5 to 5 stars for that I Quit match. The Fatal 4-Way, the main event was the second best fight, 4 to 4.25. Third best fight, the 2 out of 3 fall Intercontinental Rules for the tag team titles, 3.5 to 3.75 stars there. Ziggler and Sheamus is my fourth best fight at 3 to 3.25. even though I was leaning more towards 3.5. But now that I think about it, I think 3.25 is the best I can go on that one. And I'd say number 5 would probably have to be the Barrett Neville matchup, 2.5 there. Number 6 would have to be the Wyatt and Ryback, 2.25 to 2.5. And by default, the worst fight of the night would have to be the Divas, even though there was really nothing particularly wrong with it. It's just based on the ratings and the body of work. I gave that 1.5 to 2 based on that body of work. And as far as the pre-show fights go, I gave the Truth and Stardust between I would say 1.5 to 2 for the Truth and Stardust, and then that tag match with the Ascension against the quote unquote new Mega Powers. Yeah, that was an absolute dud. There was no question about that. So yes. Initially going in, I predicted it was going to be maybe a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. But based on the body of work tonight, I'm leaning towards the absolute best I can give this would probably be 8.5. Maybe 8.5. I'll say it like this: 8.5, teetering on 9 out of 10. To me, I would have to say second best pay-per-view of the year. I still think WrestleMania is still the show of the year by a smidge, if I'm being honest with you, because we all know how freaking phenomenal WrestleMania was, despite a very piss-poor bill to the event. So we thought this was going to be just another B pay-per-view, and oh yeah, and that's right. I mentioned that I had a little possible reason why this show was so good tonight. Now, as you all know, about a month or so ago, the city of Baltimore was going through some major hard times. And I do mean major hard times. I mean, you heard it. It was all over the news and social media. Everybody knows all about those horrific riots in the city, which was very sad to see. And I honestly think, and obviously they finally got everything under order now, and and what a great couple of days for the city of Baltimore. I mean, but during the riots, of course, everybody knows there was a Baltimore Oriole game at Camden Yards, the first time ever in the history of baseball, in the illustrious history of baseball. We had an empty stadium game. Not one seat in Camden Yards had a button. Everybody knows how that worked out. But thankfully, they finally got everything under control. Everything is back to normal in the city of Baltimore. And what a weekend for the city of Baltimore. They got to see American Pharaoh win once again, win the Preakness Stakes, adding to the Kentucky Derby win, which puts him now one win away from the first Triple Crown in the sport of horse racing since 1978. In a few weeks, he's going to have that opportunity on Saturday, June the 6th, on a very rainy day in the city of Baltimore yesterday. I mean, it was tailor-made for Michael Flecha. I mean, you think he likes the rain and the slop on the football field? He loves the rain and slop on the horse track. Trust me, I know him, and I know how much he loves it. I know he must have had a lot of fun with that yesterday. Trust me, I know he did. You follow up that historic win by American Pharaoh on the horse racing track in Pimlico yesterday to the Royal Farms, formerly First Mariner, formerly Baltimore Arena tonight. I think World Wrestling Entertainment was fully aware of the hard times the city of Baltimore went through. And Vince McMahon, Triple H in the suits of World Wrestling Entertainment, they clearly got together and they said, let's give the city of Baltimore a show that they will never forget, and a show that basically something to lift their spirits and give them something to look forward to after all the hard times that wonderful city had to endure for the better part of the last month or so. And for that, I give a tremendous round of applause and respect and kudos to World Wrestling Entertainment for delivering one of the best B pay-per-views I can remember. I can't remember the last time we were gushing over a B pay-per-view. It's been forever and a day since we've gotten all excited over the body of work of a B level pay-per-view. Usually the B pay-per-views are rather matte and not really anything to write home about. But oh, you want to write home about this one, folks. If you missed it, shame on you. I strongly this is definitely a I strongly recommend this show tonight because this was one of the best B pay-per-views I've seen in a very long time. And Vince McMahon and Suits and WWE, you need to be commended because I clearly know maybe they don't want to admit it, but I know deep inside they wanted to give the city of Baltimore a night to remember, and they wanted to give them something to look forward to and something to lift their spirits after those major, major, major hard times that city had to endure last month. So unbelievable. If I was a resident of Baltimore, Maryland, I would be forever thankful and appreciative of the efforts by all the men and women that brought their games tonight. So well done, well done. 8.5 to 9 out of 10. It's the second best pay per view of the year, and by a smidge, WrestleMania is still the show of the year. Michael Flecha, how are you gonna follow that? I dare you to.
You know me, Florio. I'm always willing to take a challenge head on, and a lot of the times I actually outdo you in those type of challenges. So, I'm gonna say it. This was my expectations were was a 7 out of 10, and I said that WWE had to impress me with some things. I think they did reasonably a good job. I think they did. I agree with you with the 8. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I thought this was a solid show. A lot of people are giving it about B plus. B plus is the ratings that a lot of people are giving it letter grades. So definitely within the 8 range is where it's gonna come out. Um, at the end of the day, the way that WWE handled themselves, especially, like you said, a lot of things was going on in the city of Baltimore, no doubt about it. Our thoughts and prayers were going out to the city of Baltimore, but it looks like they have rode the wave, and it's gotten a lot better now than it did a few weeks back. And yeah, Baltimore was in the news for a lot of the wrong reasons. The looting, the rioting, the fire burning, tipping the cars over, making these attacks on the police department. Um, there was a lot of things that was going wrong with the city. But now, like you said, the Orioles have turned it around a little bit. They actually compensated for the workers for what happened, which I think was a real cool and classy move by them. And then, like you said, then we had the big event, the Preakness Stakes, where American Pharaoh won it, and now he has a chance to get the Triple Crown in 3 weeks in Belmont Park in New York, outside of New York. And then we had this pay per view, which delivered on so many things. But then again, WWE, or even back in the days of WCW, they were always very high on the city of Baltimore, Maryland. As a matter of fact, some of their best moments actually came from Baltimore, Maryland. Some of their historic moments, in at least in WCW era, meant there was so many moments. Definitely the formation of the Outsiders from the Great American Bash in 1996. The infamous jackknife power bombing of Eric Bischoff through the table, through one of the standing tables that had the WCW Great American Bash banner out there. And I know me and Florio had loads of fun with that moment as well. So when that happens, of course, we knew the matches were gonna be. We didn't know what to expect, or we didn't know if this was gonna be a good pay per view because the build up wasn't that great. Um, but the next thing we know is that they delivered, and they delivered in spades. I mean, Ziggler versus Sheamus was a great jump off to the show. It really set the tempo and set the mood, which I think a lot of people will agree was a great builder, starter, jump off, as we would say. And then the 2 out of 3 falls delivered in so many different levels. We it went through the three full stages, which we kind of expected it. Yeah, a little screwy finish at the end, but to make the New Day look strong as heel champions, you had to do that. A far better than expected between Bray Wyatt and Ryback. Unfortunately, it's now being reported that Ryback did suffer an injury after the match. They're talking about possibly there's some rib damage. They don't know if he might have suffered a broken rib or not. We don't know just yet. But initial reports is that it is indeed a rib injury, and it does not look like this is storyline or that this is just storyline based. This might actually be a legit injury. So we're hoping for more report, and soon enough we'll find out. Of course, John Cena successfully defending his United States title in a great match over Rusev. Anthony, as far as he said, calls it in his mind the second best fight of the year, in my opinion. I definitely, in my opinion, I kind of disagree with that. Right now, I have it as possibly the fight of the year. It's a neck and neck race with the fight from the Royal Rumble, no doubt about it. With the WWE World Heavyweight Title fight, of course. Then we had two cool down fights. The Bella Twins, Naomi and Tamina was one cool down fight. Barrett versus Neville was the second cool down fight, and then we had a red hot main event um, with a very good match between Ambrose, Reigns, Orton, and Seth Rollins, with Rollins walking away with the belt. It was just a great night all the way around, an 8-star fight, no doubt about it. And that will conclude our show here tonight. Programming reminder, folks, tomorrow night is the Wrestling Forum hosted by Derek Ferreira at 11 p.m. Eastern. Myself, Florio, Michael Bullock, and of course our Imperial Grand Poobah will be together as we will recap Monday Night Raw, the fallout from Payback, and the build begins for Elimination Chamber. And then, of course, please keep your eyes peeled for the Ranger Roundup as we will be as myself, Anthony Florio, and Michael Bullock will be covering and recapping Game 2 of the NHL Eastern Conference Final between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the New York Rangers, as the game will be going down tomorrow. Well, tonight, as we should say, because it's already Monday night, Monday, early Monday morning, and that game will be held at the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. The puck will drop around a little after 8:15, 8:10, 8:15. It's supposed to be a puck drop, and of course, if the game ends early, we'll recap it before we get into the wrestling form. But if the game should go late, where the game ends at the point when the forum begins, then we'll immediately do it following the game is over. That'll probably be about maybe 1:30 in the morning. So hopefully we'll get it done by 10:30. No guarantees, but if it does run a little longer than usual, then we'll do it immediately following the forum. Like I said, keep your eyes peeled to Twitter and Facebook for that. And for all of us here, please like the video, leave a comment at the bottom. What was your feelings about the show? And we'll see you tomorrow night. So with that said, for Anthony Florio, I am Michael Flecha. You know the routine, everybody. Hugs and hand pounds. We out. Have a good night, everybody. You've been watching a special edition of the Wrestling Forum as we had recapped Payback exclusively on Braves Fan 95, part of the Wrestling Forum and Strictly Sports family of networks. Have a good night, everybody.